Welcome to the Candid Conversation Show. I'm your host, Marilyn Fontaine, artist and creative coach for women who want success and income with ease. Hi, this is Marilyn, and it's another podcast. I want to talk about energy and how we are struggling, I would say. How we're struggling to maintain our energy after the ages of 37 to the ages about 65. So that's those people that are actually in the working industry. So you would have been working for a good 15 years already, and or longer. So you're in the rat race, as they call it, or you're in the grind. And what I've noticed with a lot of people is they find maintaining energy. So they'll do a detox. They'll go on holiday and they'll feel really energized. The minute they come back, they're back in the system. They're losing their energy. The energy is decreasing. And they're really suffering, basically. It's like energy is one of the biggest commodities, and we tend to give it to something outside of ourselves. And passion is an energy source. When you're passionate for something, you find a lot of energy for it. But the problem is, when you come away from your passion, what tends to happen is that people tend to muck together and complain. So that's quite a low energy drain. And some of us are projectors, so depending on how you're born, this is according to human design, you could be a projector, so you don't have natural energy. If you're a generator, then you're going to have natural energy, and again, a manifester, you might have more energy. So these are different. I've written a blog post about the human design system, and it's really interesting to kind of find out what your birth date is, and how you fit on the spectrum. So we have people that are projectors like myself, so we're all about the other person. We're about service, and we get burnt out really quickly, but we're here to give to other people, to help other people, and to provide a service to other people that can enhance their life. But that's not necessarily us. We're just good at resources that we get. Like we might learn something and pass it on to other people. But our general energy, we need a lot of time to ourselves to relax, recuperate, just to recharge. So it's very much having the similar energy of an empath, but it's not exactly the same. So we absorb a lot. So we need to find out what's ours and what isn't ours. And human design system is a bit more complex than just being a projector. It just depends on other factors. So look at my blog, or my new course, the Catalyst program, talks more about the human design system. But that's just an example of the type of person you are. So again, if you're a natural empath, like you take on other people's problems, you have empathy, even if you do specific exercises to kind of protect yourself, you're still going to get drained. And it's because we're in a society now where everything is shifting and changing. People complain. People are just getting by. So there's a disconnect with the spirit, the body and the mind, which sounds really obvious, and we know this. But on an energetic level, there is a disconnect. Because a lot of the times people are working against their design, against their internal will, against their spirit. So it's almost like pushing a heavy load up a hill. So you're going against gravity. And what the aim really would be for you to know what your makeup is, could be your design if you choose to do that as well, or just to know what is your desires, what is your will, what is it you want in your life. Because if you are losing energy to a point where you are literally exhausted, you're going to have to make some chronic severe adjustments to your lifestyle. Otherwise, you're going to get the confusion, which I'm seeing with a lot of people when they come in towards the age of 60. There's no longer, it's like the something in the spirit has awakened, but the mind and body and the emotional body hasn't caught up. So you're no longer in alignment with the miracles that need to come to you, or what other gifts you have for this next stage in your life. And so when you are moving towards Crone and wisdom from the ages of 40 upwards, it's a time when you're giving back, or you're kind of starting to leave your imprint, and look at the imprint that you've left in this dimension or in this world. And if you're still confused about that, then it's going to get harder as you move into your 50s. There's nothing more sweeter than seeing a lady or a gentleman in their 50s and they know where they're going. They radiate. They actually look more younger because they're on purpose. And this is a part of us that is missing. So you really need to find your desire and your passion to engage in your will. And then you will not have to use your own energy and your own resources. You will be able to tap into the universal energy that is rightly yours. And lots of things are changing in our society. So it's going to be even harder because there's more external things that are happening in the world that are going to impact on our energy. Which is for another podcast, but the external things are going to impact on our energy. So you actually need to engage in the things that are going to help you move and navigate through this life much more easily and be able to go to the next stage. So if you are getting ready for retirement, or you're getting ready to get towards your 50s and you want to be financially solvent, or you want to have a better health, then you need to start working and looking at what is imparting or impacting your energy, and that you really, really, really need to let go. You just it needs to go, because this age doesn't require a lot of baggage in terms of what you should be doing. It's basically being in a place of opening up to what has been designed for you, so you can walk across the bridge and help other people that's coming in. You've got to think of it like we're no longer for children. We haven't got that energy. When you're younger, you have that up energy, that very spring kind of energy coming, because it's needed to grow. So you can bring things towards you, or you can run on a lot more energy and do a lot more physical energy. When you're younger, because that energy is in abundance, because you're growing. But as you get older, you may have had children, or you may have had businesses. That energy is on a if we're following a natural human evolution mentally, which again is another construct, then your energy would be on a decline. So you basically have to take yourself out of that thought pattern that you are on a decline. And that does require a change of a whole load of other stuff. So you're going against a system that believes you're this age, this is how you're meant to be. And energetically, you don't need to grow anymore. Mentally you can grow, but physically, you don't really need to grow. And that's when you start seeing people, if they're still doing what they did in their 20s and 30s, then they're going to start to drain their natural essence. They're going to drain their kidney, liver energy and spleen energy, their earth. They're going to start draining on those resources. So when you are in alignment with your design, you're in alignment with the universal forces and universal nature. So this is a bit of a deep podcast, but it's really important that people understand this. And I've seen this many time and time again, how when people get into their life and they follow their path, it feels like their life at the beginning is falling apart, crashing, but the benefits they get afterwards are amazing, because they can just, when they're in their right space, they can just draw to them what they need to. And this is a secret that we don't realise. When you pass your sort of like the 20s and 30 age group and you start to tap into the 40s, it's actually in front of you, but you can't see it. It's actually being like really close up to a painting, and then not until you step back, you can see that it's a face. And um, this is what has been given to us in this age. So we may not be able to move as fast and be agile and all those things, those constructs which we believe. But actually, the energy we don't need, the yang energy, the spring energy. We are kind of like, remember, it seems like we're in a winter, but it's not. It's about the stillness. It's about the insular energy. So you're going inward, like winter. You're hibernating, but remember, it's another rebirth again. And remember, the most strongest person in the tribe is the master. So he may be a person that may walk slowly and he's not as upright as the younger, fierce warriors, but he doesn't need to. All he needs to do is just use one movement, and that can take out another person, because the force behind his energy, the force behind his actions are so strong that he doesn't need to do 10,000 body movements to kind of take something down. He just has to point the finger. And that's the force you need to be utilizing. It's a universal force, and it sounds, for some, may be unbelievable, but it's exactly what the force you need to be tapping into. And to find out more, just subscribe to this channel. And also, we're doing a Creative Catalyst program at the end of the month. It's a 3-month program, and it's going to help you to tap into this force and to start a template. It is a hero's journey. It's going to be really dynamic and fun, but it's also not going to be plain sailing, because it's going to challenge your beliefs, your belief system, what you believe in. And it's really important to understand that we, like the hero's journey, we're going to get cycles of life where things are going to be brilliant, and then they're going to come down, and we're going to have, falls and rises and all these different things. They're natural to our journey as humans. It's just resilience building exercises that has been pre-programmed into our life patterns. So yeah, if you want, it's about becoming a Zen master. So utilizing the external energy as opposed to using your own physical energy. And this is the problem that people are trying to tap into. An example would be a lot of women that have been burnt out after a relationship or a business relationship, or having children and raising children. They've gone off to college, and there's a kind of, it feels like the person's got ME, or they've got a really strong case of apathy, and they've not moved forward in their life, or they're moving forward, but it's at a snail's pace. What I find with these women is that they actually don't realise that they're really ingrained in a pattern which has become part of their physiology. And so what one has to do is to break out, is to change the physiology. You've got to literally change the cells. So again, it's through, mental detox, spiritual detox, physical detox. So you literally have to go through purification. And it takes a lot of discipline to kind of maintain this for about 90 days. And the reason why you have to do this, because you're trying to get rid of a pattern that it's been ingrained in your cells. So it's in I would say, the emotional body and the spirit. And this is why it's important to follow a program of some type of meditation, so you can actually start informing the spirit. This has been done many times before, but that's what happens. So you can't get past the burnout unless you tap into that, and knowing where to tap into this vitality and what centers in the body you need to reach and to activate this is the key thing. And this is what we'll show you in the Catalyst program. If you're listening to this podcast once the Catalyst program has ended, then just check out the website. There'll be blog posts or other podcasts on this, which I think is really, really important with the information that's coming through right now for us to kind of utilize. This is Marilyn Fontaine signing off. If you want to be part of an incubator of some amazing creative women, then you need to join the Highly Capable Creative one-to-one program with me. To join, you can just contact me at www.mjfontaine.co.uk and book a sales call with me to join this amazing 6-month program where we get to work on your creative business. We also get to work clearing your blocks and also bringing that confidence up to 100 so you can stand in your agency and live your best life.